Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is September 30, 2024, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen, that's Dutch for crafty adventures, from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, today I'm filming from my living room, and that's with a specific reason. I'm sitting on the couch, and also on the couch is is this crochet blanket. I talked about it in last week's episode. I find this beautiful blanket in the thrift store. It is crochet, filet crochet. Very popular in the 60s and 70s in the Netherlands. I don't know if that was worldwide, but really a beautiful blanket. It was on my wish list for quite a while, and when I found it, my heart jumped. It was bright white, and although I loved the brightness of the whiteness, it was not really matching with the aesthetics in our living room. We have quite a warm aesthetic, I guess. A lot of wood, a lot of brown, because that's my favorite color and my husband loves it too. So the bright white blanket on the couch was too bright white and I didn't like it, so I decided to dye the blanket. And it was my plan to dye it dark brown, because dark brown always works out for me. But when I was in the store, I discovered a beige dye, and I dyed it beige. But there was one problem. There were some blue speckles all over the blanket, which didn't catch the dye, or I didn't really understand what happened. A lot of people commented about it with suggestions what would have caused the blue speckles. And maybe, I don't really know if it's an English word too, but in the Netherlands, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, women used, when they were doing the laundry, used blauwsel. That's the Dutch word. I did a search on Google Translate, and Google tells me I can say bluish, but I don't know if it's only a literal translation. It's a specific thing which makes your white wash very bright white. So it's not really bleach, it's something specific. I never used it. I don't think a lot of people use it nowadays, but a few generations back, or maybe one generation back, it was used a lot. And someone commented maybe there was used some blauwsel, some bluish on this blanket, which didn't really catch the dye. And I can imagine that. I decided to put the blanket on our couch anyway, and I would see how bothering the blue speckles would be, and they aren't bothering at all. I don't even see them. When I put the pillow away and when I look in detail, I can see them, but they are not very obvious. And because of the lighter color, the contrast between our dark brown couch and the beige blanket makes that you can see the stitch pattern very good, much more than when the blanket would be dark brown too. And I really love the stitch pattern. It's so beautiful. I really love it. So that's quite amazing. And I decided I keep the blanket beige. There is quite a big chance that it will be dark brown one day, but not in the near future. It's okay like this. I really love to put a blanket on our couch every now and then. I have several, some crochet ones, but also a fabric one. I just love to change the look of our living room. We don't have enough space to play with the furniture. I can make two settings. I can change the couch a little bit. But how it's now, it's definitely the favorite of my family members, so they are not happy when I'm changing all the furniture. But I really love the fresh energy which a change can give me. And putting a blanket on the couch can also give me that fresh energy. So it's just a little bit of a different look. I love that. So for now it's fine, and it will stay at the blanket until I feel the need for another blanket or just the dark brown couch, because I love our couch also with no blankets on it. It's just for fun. But that's why I'm sitting right here, and the house was empty. That's also not the case every Monday, but everybody's at school and work, so I have the house for myself to film downstairs. And although I love my knitting office upstairs, it's very nice to have you in my living room today. So yeah, let's start. I actually already started with the podcast. Let me tell you something about what I'm wearing, because that's also quite special. I am wearing my Felix cardigan again, and the specialty of that is that I just picked it out of the attic. I always store my winter woolies in summer, and I didn't change my wardrobe yet because we are in the transition of summer to autumn. Tomorrow it's October 1st. In Dutch we say it different. In Dutch we say 1 October. We always say the number first and then the month. But in English it's the other way around. And the weather is also changing a little bit. And this weekend the weather was some rain and some sunlight, but really lower temperatures than before. And I really felt cold. And I always have a warm cardigan on my chair at the dinner table. I can put it on every now and then. It's my favorite thrifted cardigan. It's also Colorwork, stranded knitting, and I really love it, but it's really worn out. It's not looking good, and it doesn't matter. I will wear it anyway, and my heart's always jumping when I wear it. But I realized I need to grab my Felix cardigan too. So I picked my winter woolies out of the attic. I put them in a big bag. I don't want to have them in my active wardrobe all summer because I won't wear them anyway. I have quite some non-superwash itchy garments in my winter wardrobe, and I can't. The itchiness is good for me. I can have it, but not in summer. When I'm warm, I can't have the itchiness, so I don't wear it. And we have mats in the house, so I don't want to play with fire. Can you say it like that? The mats are not really bothering me, but I also don't want to invite them to put their eggs and their babies in my favorite woolly winter garments. So I always wash my winter garments and then I store them with a bunch of lavender oil and cedar wood and all the things to protect them against moths. And I put them in... we have some storage in the attic at the second floor, and I put it there. So I grabbed my Felix cardigan this morning because I really needed an extra warm layer, and I'm feeling so happy and comfortable all day. It is quite a grey Monday. I think it will rain. It's not raining yet, but I think it will rain today, and it's cold, but not really cold. I could walk in the forest without a coat, only a warm shawl and my cardigan, and I really love this temperature. So it was really nice to meet Felix again after a few months. It is a bit crinkly because it was all folded up, and it's also quite pilly. It was my plan to de-pill it before I stored it in for the summer. I didn't do it. Now I don't really regret, but a little bit of de-pilling wouldn't be a luxury, but I love it anyway. So I'm really happy today with my extra warm woolly layer. I'm also wearing my Hinterland dress, one of my Hinterland dresses. This was the first one I made myself, and I was quite successful. I did make a big mistake, but I could solve it. The only thing is I did choose quite a cheap fabric. It's a cotton fabric, and it's not a very sustainable fabric, and it's also pilling a lot. I don't know if you can see it. I did choose it because of the checked color combination, but it's quite shine through. And also, you can see the quality is not really good. And what I did when I was sewing it, I have to go a little bit lower. That's a good exercise for my legs. You can't see me right now, but I am squatting right now. And I feel that I don't squat quite often. Oh, I can't do this for a long time. But everything to show you my dress. At this point, I made a mistake. Oh, my legs hurt too much. I'm sorry. I never do. I never do exercises. I only walk, and that's enough for me. The big mistake I made with this dress is that I sewed the skirt inside out to the body. So when I noticed, I did fit my dress, and I was very happy because the process went all smooth and good. And then I put on my dress and I thought, oh no. So this was inside out. And then I just cut it off. I couldn't rip the seams because the fabric was a little bit too fragile and it would be too time consuming. So I just cut off the seam. So I lost 1 centimeter on each side. So I guess my dress is 2 centimeters shorter than it was supposed to be, than I planned. And now it's on the short side. But yeah, I can wear it anyway. I have panties under it. And also I always wear a biker short under it. So it is decent, but it's on the short side. Yeah, but it was, it did very, no, easy peasy, Sarah. This dress helped me with letting my sewing skills, my sewing muscles grow. And it was really a successful experience, although the process didn't went smooth all way long. I have a dress I can wear, and I learned I know how to do better next time, and I did do that. So it's really nice. It is my plan to make another Hinterland dress this autumn. I want to make a black one for the Knit to Purl to festival, and I have planned it in a specific week in October. When I have lots of time. I think I have lots of time. So in October I will make another Hinterland dress. So I'm also wearing my leg warmers and woolen socks, but I can't show them in a decent way to you. So you must believe me that I am wearing it and I'm very happy. Warm feet are very nice for me to have. So that's really, really nice. Yeah. Okay, I'm also wearing my headband. Oh, I forgot to tell that in the Dutch episode. It's my favorite headband. It is it's a pattern from Jessica Kalwei. And I forgot the name. Something with ear. No, I don't know. I put the links down below to everything I talk about, so also the headband. I am going to the hairdresser tomorrow, and that's quite exciting because I want to go to the hairdresser for weeks, but she's very popular and very busy. But tomorrow I can go to her, and I don't really know. My hair is quite long and my curls are disappearing because it's too long. And I don't know what to do with the bangs. I know I had my coming out a few episodes ago with making an episode without a headband, and it was very nice and good, but since then I wear my headband. I don't know. I'm a bit confused about the way I dress my hair these days, and it's a bit changing, but I don't really know in which direction. And tomorrow I will go to the hairdresser, but I haven't decided yet what I want with this one. I want this as curly as possible, and now my curls are disappearing because it's too long, and I'm not now complaining. I did my best to make it. It's not that it's a real big problem or something, but when my hair is good, I am good. When my hair is I am Do you recognize that? You can see at my hair how I'm feeling. And my hair was really fuzzy. I used another shampoo which didn't work out, and I was really, I don't like it. So I really am looking forward to have a refreshed hair. But it's also when I visited the hairdresser, I'm never satisfied immediately. 2 weeks, I need 2 weeks and then I'm happy. So maybe I'm crying tomorrow. We shall see. But I am wearing a headband and it's making me happy. Okay, I have a finished object. A pair of socks. those are my granny stripe socks. It is the August chart from the Colorwork Cuff Club from Syli. Where shall I start? Let me start with the summer. No, I always want to say summer Colorwork Cuff Club. I'm a bit confused. The Colorwork Cuff Club is a pattern, a series from Syli knits. Syli is she only a sock knitter designer? I don't know if she has other designs. I don't know, but she released an all year Colorwork Cuff Club. You buy the pattern one time at Ravelry and probably also on her website, and you get an update every month. When you buy the pattern, you receive a basic pattern, a basic sock pattern, and every month you receive one or sometimes even two charts for the cuff, Colorwork charts. And I actually fell in love with the other August design. In August you receive 2 charts, and I will show it later with a little flower. I really love that design, and that was the reason why I bought this pattern, why I decided I want to join the Colorwork Cuff Club. And it's not my plan to knit a pair of socks every month. I just love to have it. And I was also curious to the colorwork in the cuff, because that can be challenging, but later I will talk more about that later. So when I was watching a video from Syli in which she was explaining her idea around the around the Colorwork Cuff Club, she told that this was a granny stripe sock design, and I thought granny stitch is my favorite crochet stitch, so she catches my attention, and I wasn't really charmed by this pattern. I loved it, but it was not that I thought I want to make that pattern. That I did have the feeling with the flower, but not with the stripes. But when she told me, or she told everyone in her YouTube episode, that it were granny stripes, based on the granny stripes, then I thought I need them in my life too. And I used the sock yarn. All the sock yarn is gifted to me by a lovely Dutch sock dyer. No, not yarn dyer. Her name is Janneke, and her company is called Gewoon Jans. And last year she gave me a beautiful skein of It Is a Sarah colorway. It's really fun. She made a series of colorways in which she was inspired for choosing the colors by Instagram feeds of people she followed. And of course, my Instagram feed looked quite brown, so she made a beautiful shade of brown and she gave me the skein. It was really lovely. And in the early summer this year we had a kind of collaboration. She asked me, which colors would you pick for the idea of a summer night at the campsite? And I imagined that I was at the campsite at a campfire, so I chose some campfire-y colors and the browns and all the things. And she made a mini sock set of 6 colors, and she also gifted it to me very generously. And I started to knit socks. Maybe you have seen my struggle during the summer. I showed them. I made stripy socks with those colors. And it was not really, I finished one long sock. It was my on-the-go knitting project for in the car when we visited France and Italy. But it was not hard jumping for me. It was nice. It was not ugly, but it was also not something which made me really happy. And that was annoying, because I don't want to spend my knitting time on things that are not really making me happy. So I decided that it was not hard jumping enough, and I frogged it and started these socks. And I am happy I did, because these socks are hard jumping to me. I really love it. The color combination was quite bright for me, but in this way I really love it. It gives me a little bit of a retro, a little bit of a vintage vibe. I love the orange and the brown combination, and also the yellow. It's a little bit 70s. I'm not from the 70s, I'm from the early 80s, but I love the 70s vibe. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I followed the whole instructions. So normally I'm a toe-up knitter, but I used the basic sock pattern, which comes with the Colorwork Cuff Club, which is cuff down. And also the color work in the cuff is quite challenging because Colorwork fabric has much less stretch than stockinette fabric. So when I did knit Colorwork socks before, but then I always cast on more stitches for a Colorwork sock and then I make an all over Colorwork sock than when I do just stockinette socks. And this pattern comes in 3 sizes, and the smallest size was with 56 stitches, and that's my preferred sock stitch size for my size. And I was doubting because I thought when I go up 1 size, I think that was 64 or 60 stitches, I'm not quite sure, then this part would be too wide for me. But when I just would do the 56 stitches, this part would maybe be too narrow for me. So I thought, okay, let's follow the pattern for the smallest size and see how it will turn out. And I decided to use the small, I don't know where I have it, the shorty needles. They are in here, but I don't know, here they are. Summer Lee was knitting on shorties, and also a Dutch podcaster I love to watch was also knitting on shorties at the same time. So I thought this is a sign from the universe that I should grab my shorties again. Me and my shorties, we are not very good friends, but things can change. I know I have the same experience with my sewing machine, so maybe we can be besties. We are not there yet, but we are drinking coffee again. And I decided to put my 8 centimeter shorty on the right side and my 5 centimeters needle point, I have to say, on the left side. And I'm a continental knitter, and I don't love knitting continental with the shorties, but when I'm knitting Colorwork, I always have 1 strand left and 1 strand at the right, and then it's more balanced, and then I can handle the shorties. So it was okay. I am definitely a magic loop sock knitter, but with the shorties and the Colorwork, yeah, it's just, I think it's better, and I loved it. Again, we are just having nice chats again. We don't share our deepest feelings. Our friendship is not there yet, but I have some trust that we might be very good friends in the near future. It needs some practice. But I must say it didn't turn out completely fine. My first sock was actually quite good and I could put it over my own heel. This part is the most challenging part when you are putting on your Colorwork socks, because this is the widest part and it did work out. But my second sock, there is one, maybe I was more stressed when I knitted this color. It's more tighter and I can feel one specific round, which is very tight, and I can put them over my heel. But yeah, it's a bit, I'm a bit afraid I will break the yarn when I do it if too much or too often. I'm not quite sure. It's not perfect. So I don't really know what to do with these socks. They are looking very nice on my sock blocker, so maybe I will put them there. Maybe I will give them to my girls. I don't know if they want to wear them, but their feet are a little bit more narrow than my feet are. I'm not quite sure, but I did use the heel flap and gusset exactly as the pattern told me. I did make a brown toe. I love that. The dark brown is coming back at several places and I really love the look of the socks. So I'm very glad I decided to use a different pattern for this mini sock set. And of course, I only used a little bit of the colorway, but it's looking very nice and I'm very happy. But a lot of people commented under my previous videos that knitting your Colorwork inside out can be very helpful on socks. So I will definitely try that on my second sock. No, my third sock. No, fourth. This is still a mess. This is happening in this cute little project bag. I am all... Ooh! My knitting needle was pulling in. No, it was into my leg. That was not feeling nice. In Dutch we say prikken. I don't know the word in English. I'm all into the brown flowers today. I showed it before. This was a beautiful luxury set I received from a Dutch maker. Her name is Inge from Hobby Bags, and I really love this brown flowery fabric. And I'm all into it right now. So this tiny little project bag is taking care of this mess. This is the second chart of the August Colorwork Cuff Club. Okay. I shared before that I was knitting on the foot quite a while, and then I realized I forgot to decrease, so I ripped it out, and I never looked at it again since then. So it is a mess and I have to organize it, but not today. But I want to show you this Colorwork chart was really the reason why I joined the Colorwork Cuff Club. I really love the flowers, I really love the look, and I'm not really satisfied about my color work in this cuff, because you can see the difference between the stitch definition. The gauge is quite different between I knit the plain fabric on 2mm needles and the color work on 2.75mm needles, and it worked out pretty good on these socks, but you can see the difference in the stitch definition quite good on this sock. Now I will show it later. So it's too messy right now. But what I will do, I dropped my stitches. Oh, my needle is out of. Now I see it. What I will do is I start with knitting the heel, picking up all the stitches and doing all the decreases how they are supposed to be, and then I can knit the whole sock. I love the color combination, and then I will cast on the second sock, and then I will try to knit the color work inside out and how that will help for making a nice cuff. I also love the design of the September chart. It was more a graphic design, and I especially loved the all over Colorwork sock that way, but I didn't knit it, and I am also not really, I will knit it once, but I don't know when. Tomorrow it's October, so then the third design will come, or actually the fourth, and I'm very curious, and it's not my plan to make one pair of socks every month, but maybe when I really love the design I will cast it on, we shall see. But I really am happy I joined the Colorwork Cuff Club, because yeah, it's really making me happy. I don't need socks, actually. I have a lot of hand knitted socks and I love to wear them. I don't need them, but I just love knitting them, and yeah, it's just me having fun, and maybe I will give them away. I don't know. No, I won't give them away. Maybe when I do make all the Colorwork charts, I don't know if I will like them all, of course, but when I do like them all, it's quite nice to have a whole collection. Maybe I just will save them. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, I have another pair of socks on my needles. These are my BFF socks, my friendship socks. They are back home again. It's been a while since I talked about it, but my best friend was not really a knitter. She is now. She became a knitter. But she was not really a knitter, but she really loved hand knitted socks. And I knitted her one pair, and I knitted for all her family. I knitted socks, and she was begging me for more socks. But I didn't make her more socks. I thought you can do it yourself, because she is a crocheter too. And last year with Christmas, I guess, she brought 2 beautiful skeins of, how it's called? Sokkenwol Zauberbal from her holidays. She had a very bright one, the parrot colorway for herself, with very bright colors, and this more, it's called something with autumn. I don't know the exact name, but this beautiful colorway for me. And then it was her idea. She wanted me to teach her to learn socks. And then it was her idea, we can knit each other, our socks together. She said, if you can do the hard parts, the toe and the heel, I can do the leg. So she never knitted in the round and all the things. And I'm so proud, because we did it together. And yeah, I would never have thought about it, but it was such a nice, it is such a nice project. Her socks are finished. I want mine very long legs. I really wanted slouchy socks, and I actually thought that the leg would be too narrow to get over my leg under my knee. But she did knit quite loosely the leg, and now it fits perfectly over my whole leg. And now I have a kniekous, a knee sock, which is really looking great. And I didn't expect that actually, but it really made me happy. And see, I knitted until here, and she knitted all the leg, and I did the cuff. And now the first leg was quite more narrow than the second one. So she even ripped out quite a part and re-knitted it again quite loose. So it's really fitting perfectly now. And I only have to finish the cuff. And then we will make a video or pictures together. But when I was wearing the sock yesterday evening, I was just putting it on. It was feeling so warm and cozy and nice. Of course, warm woolly socks are very nice, but knitting socks together with your best friend, that's really special. Our friendship, my love for her love for me, is catched into these socks. And yeah, it's really hard jumping. I didn't expect that actually, but it was really fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finish those. I think I can finish them tonight. And yeah, then I can wear them too. I have something else to show. As I said, I'm into the brown flowers today, but I organized my knitting needles. This is a knitting needle case, also by Hobby Bags, by Inge. Also gifted. All the brown flowery things are gifted to me. And she made a very clever solution for all your knitting needles, all your circulars, with zipper bags, so you can organize it. And she suggested you could put little labels on it, so you know what's in it or what should be in it. So you also know when something is in a knitting project, you know where it is. And those are all my fixed circulars and my shorties, the needle points from the shorty sets, because the shorty sets, they always dropped out. They weren't stay where they supposed to stay, and now they are catched into zipper bags, and I feel really organized. So I think it's really working out fine, and it's really nice to have my knitting needles. I have this case, and also of course my Chogu needle case with a little bit of Sarah sauce, and all my needles are together. So when I go on holiday, I can grab those two cases and I have all my knitting tools with me. That feels very organized and very nice. Okay, I have something else. Let me give you a little update on my Coffeebean corn cardigan, because it's making me so happy. I actually could have finished it this weekend, but I decided not to, because I thought I can only wear it for the first time in November. I'm not quite sure. I really want to keep it as a special new garment for the Knit to Purl to festival. I'm a little bit doubting, because I always love to wear... sometimes you have to know, you have to learn each other, your new garment, and you have to get used to each other to really know how you want to wear it or put a little bit of your energy in it. So I'm not quite sure if I will wear it for the first time at Knit to Purl to, or I will wear it for a few times in November before. To get used to it. I'm not quite sure about that, but it will not be a daily garment, because I want to keep it a little bit special. And I thought I was feeling cold. I was not having a cold, but I was feeling cold, and I thought I need warm woolly layers right now. So I did make a new cast on. I will tell you all about it in a minute. And I didn't finish the sleeve. But it's okay. I finished the first sleeve. It's really flying off my needles, and I will show it to you. I used a lifeline for the first time. I put a lifeline in the stitches, and I also used it. The corn cardigan, I never knitted the long sleeve version, and it's telling you to make some decreases for the sleeve, for a tapered sleeve, and I don't love decreases interrupting a specific stitch pattern. So I thought, can I maybe knit a straight sleeve and do all the decreases in the round before the cuff, before the ribbing of the cuff, and then you get a little bit of a balloony sleeve. So I decided to put a lifeline in it and just knit the sleeve, and when I wouldn't be satisfied with the result, I could rip it out and pick up the stitches nice and easily. And I did knit quite a while. I was not at the cuff yet, but then I realized I can't do this because I can't do very much decreases in the round before the cuff, because then the Coffeebean stitch, the knit to, is a variation of the knit to purl to, so it's very nice and straight. The Coffeebeans are turning into the ribbing very nice and natural, and when I do a lot of decreases in the round before the ribbing, I would mess up this lovely rhythm and we wouldn't do that, we won't do that. So I decided I needed the decreases in the sleeves anyway. And I noticed that Rebecca actually had a clever way to do the decreases. Sleeve decreases most of the time are a decrease at the beginning of your round. Most of the time you do you knit one stitch, then you do a slip slip knit, and then you knit, and then you do knit two together and knit one stitch, or the slip stitch and then knit two together is the other way around. That's also one, but you decrease 2 stitches in one round. But because the Corran cardigan is also with a lace pattern, she does it in a different way. One round you knit the whole round, and you do a decrease at the end of the round, and then the second round you do again a decrease at the end of the round. So you don't interrupt the stitch pattern on both sides, and that was really nice for me because it was less visible than I thought. And you can see at this point, you can see disappearing the Coffeebean, and although I don't love it when the stitch pattern is interrupted, I thought it was in a very decent way, so it was not really bothering me. I did follow the pattern. And I'm really happy. I put it on this morning, and I'm really happy how it turned out. I'm not, the sleeve is not perfect yet because I really love long cuffs. I really love them to over my hand, and during the days I wear them this way quite often when I'm doing the dishes, or when I need my hands to be free in for another reason. And when I want to feel nice and warm and cozy, I fold them back. My bind off is a little bit too loose. I did a regular bind off with a bigger needle, but there's too much stretch in it. And of course it needs a little bit of stretch, but I think the ribbing is a little bit more, a little bit wider than I normally do, because I didn't do the decreases in the last round. I quite often do that. So it's quite a wide ribbing, and I think that will be okay. Only the bind off must be a little bit neater and a little bit more tight. I will have enough space anyway. This is way too much space, way more than I need. So I will redo that, and I think it's okay then. But I really love it. I also made buttonholes. I don't have buttons yet. I didn't check my button collection, if I have something in my button stash or if I have to buy buttons for it. But it's really a fitted garment, and that was how it's supposed to be. I'm a little bit doubting about the length, because it has the perfect length to wear on a skirt, but I'm not sure if it's maybe a little bit too long for all my dresses. Maybe a little bit shorter would be looking better, but I wanted to wear it on both skirts and dresses, and I can imagine I will wear it more open fronted on a dress and more closed on a skirt, so I think we are good. But I was really, the Let Lope yarn is really giving me a nice and warm hug, and I really love the all over Coffeebean stitch pattern, and yeah, it was a heart jumping moment, so it was really nice. I definitely am thinking about making another one in a lighter color, so you can even see the stitch more, and yeah, I just love it. And what I also love is the V-shaped neckline. especially when you wear the cardigan open fronted. I have problems with my Felix cardigan. I can't wear it open fronted without, there's too much fabric here. It's annoying. It's bothering me. But this is very, even if it's a fitted garment for me, I don't choose the size with a lot of positive ease. I did a quite zero ease. But still, I didn't block it. I just did take the risk, and I think it's work. I love the fitted sleeves, so I think we are all good. Yeah, but I love how it's when you wear it open fronted. I will show you the difference. I will finish it in a few weeks. I love knitting second sleeves because I did all the measurements and all the things in the first sleeve, and now I can just copy the second sleeve. The only thing is I have to pick up the stitches, and picking up stitches is not difficult, but it always takes me a moment with a little bit more attention, and I just have to do it. Sometimes I don't feel the motivation to do it, and I will ignore my project, and it will not move and it will not grow. But just sitting for it and picking up the stitches and started knitting will feel better. So I have to do it quite soon. And I really love the Coffeebean stitch pattern. The repeats of 4 rounds every 4 rounds you do it a little bit different, and it's not hard. It's so satisfying to knit, and because it's worsted weight yarn, it grows really fast, and that's also nice. But I'm not used to make a garment and don't wear it in the near future. When I finish a garment, I always start wearing it immediately, and I won't do that with that one. Oh, this is not good. This is the wrong sleeve. So yeah, that will feel a little bit different, but I can hang it somewhere, and looking forward to the Knit 2 Purl 2 festival. Let me show you what I mean at my Felix cardigan. I love to wear my cardigans open fronted, but when I wear this one open fronted, this is bothering me. It's not, I don't know. It's not looking very flattering, and I always close the upper button. I don't love wearing my cardigan all closed. I don't know. I love open things. So it's okay this way, but when I was choosing another project, I wanted to cast on something new. I was searching for the same shape as I have for my Corran cardigan, the V-shaped neckline, so I can wear a cardigan open fronted. So let me show it to you in the beautiful bag. It's a big bag, and there's a big project in it. I was watching the Leah's podcast from the Stitchcraft last Saturday morning, and she was telling about her no frills cardigan. And the no frills cardigan is a pattern from Petite Knit. And I think she was showing how she was making pockets, afterthought pockets in it. And the no frills cardigan is a really long cardigan. And I don't wear really long cardigans, but somehow it resonated with me, and I was having a cold. I was feeling cold, so I really needed a warm, cozy, oversized cardigan in my life. And inspired by Leah, I started searching on Ravelry, and I found all the most beautiful cardigans, but there were some specific things I needed in the pattern. It must be quite easy because I'm having a busy time and I have no brain space for a lot of challenging knits on my needles. I will start the Bubblelicious sweater for my girl in the near future, and that's enough. Normally I have enough time during the day when I can focus on challenging knits, but I don't have it these days because that time is filled with the preparations for the Knit 2 Purl 2 festival. So I needed more simple knits I need more simple knits in my life right now, which I can pick up and grab every moment I have my hands free. And what was the other reason? I really want to use some yarn from my stash. Last weekend there was a big knitting event in the Netherlands, and it was in the beginning of my plan to visit the event, but it was not quite close to my house and I didn't have a lot of time, and also I didn't need any yarn. So I was feeling a bit confused this Saturday because I really felt sad that I was sitting home alone. No, I was not alone. That I was sitting at home and all the knitters were having good times with each other with the beautiful yarns. And then I thought, okay, you didn't go because you have enough yarn in your stash. Pick something beautiful from your stash. So I did. I grabbed the most beautiful yarn I have in my stash, one of the most beautiful yarns. And I don't know what kind of yarn this is. It is gifted to me by a friend. I think I can call it like that. A mother of one of my girls' friends. I know her too. She's a very lovely lady. And this was yarn from her mother. And her mother passed away a few years ago. And I also have this in my stash for 2 years, I guess. And she's not a knitter, and she said, I want to give it to someone who can make something beautiful from it. And I asked her, do you want to make me something beautiful for you? And she said, no, you have to make something beautiful for yourself. I knitted her a pair of socks anyway. But this beautiful yarn, maybe it's hand spun, I don't know. It is definitely sheep yarn. It's definitely rough sheep yarn, and it's very itchy and very rough. It reminds me a little bit of the Let Lopi, but I really wanted to make something special of it. And I did weigh it. This is, oh, it's raining quite hard right now. This is around 300 grams. And for example, my Felix cardigan is 270 grams. So I wanted to make a long and warm and cozy cardigan, and I decided to swatch, a lazy swatch as you can see. And I had a 15 stitch gauge, and the no frills cardigan was meant for a DK weight, and this is more of a worsted and Aran weight. So I searched and searched, and I was even thinking maybe I can use the no frills cardigan as a palette. It is a top down raglan, so I can play, I can fit, and I can decide when it's big enough. But then I found a pattern which was quite close. I did consider making a Felix cardigan of it, but I want a long cardigan, and I also want a cardigan in which I immediately knitted the front band, because I don't know how much yarn I need for the cardigan, and I needed a top-down pattern with, so I can just finish the bottom when I ran out of yarn. And then I found this pattern. It's the Syli cardigan. The Syli cardigan is from the designer Leeni. I have no idea if I pronounced this right. I'm quite sure it's a Finnish knitting designer. And it was definitely the pattern I needed. It was for a worsted Aran weight yarn. It's a 16 stitch gauge. 1 stitch off my gauge, but I think we can handle that. And the cardigan, I will put a picture inside. I only have a black and white printer, so I don't think you can see it right. It was with an all over broken rib stitch, and I used that stitch for my husband's cardigan, and I love the stitch, and I also love the look of the stitch, but I decided to make the cardigan plain because of the yarn. It's a mix between brown and lighter sheep yarn, and there was happening so much in the yarn already that I think when you are knitting in a plain yarn, the broken rib stitch is really beautiful, but I didn't want to do it with this one. And I think it's perfect. It's quite oversized because my stitch gauge was a little bit off, and it's also designed with a lot of positive ease. I decided to make the extra small, the smallest size. And I don't know how long my cardigan will be. I want to make a longer cardigan because I want to make the big, cozy feeling long cardigan. But also here, the front band is involved in the pattern. And it's on quite a small cable, so you can't really see what I'm doing. I loved the construction. I never did it before, I guess. I'm not quite sure. But it's a really easy and nice construction. You knit a piece of the front band one side and another side, and then you pick up some stitches, and then you are knitting back and forth, and you do the ribbing for the front band. So you don't have to pick up stitches in the end and knit the ribbing. And that was really important for me, because I will do a lot of increases right now, and then when I will set the sleeves apart, I will separate for the sleeves. I will knit a few centimeters, and then I will finish the sleeves. And when I finish the sleeves, I can just knit until I have the right length or until I ran out of yarn. And that was exactly what I wanted. And I really love the yarn. I really love the feeling. This will be such a warm and cozy cardigan. And let me show it to you. I did do the raglan, the ribbing on the raglan. Yeah, it's not really obvious because the yarn is busy already, but I just loved it anyway. So I have my notes. I have it on a small piece of paper. This is what I have to do. And my knitting book was not close to me when I started, and I will paste this little note into my knitting book. But this bag has pockets, so I have my notes in the pockets, and I even have a pen in another pocket. So I feel really organized, and yeah, it's really a lovely pattern. And again, it's just easy peasy knitting back and forth, knit stitches and purl stitches, and it will be an endless knit because it will be a big cardigan, and it will also be quite a boring knit. And especially the boring knits, it's also always a bit... The boring knits are also the knits I love to wear the most. The basic things I feel really nice and comfortable in. I have some beautiful colorwork items or lace or whatever, but just a plain woolly layer, yeah, I can live in. So, but they are not so fun to make as the more challenging knits with colorwork or structured patterns. So it's very nice to have a boring knit on your needles always, because you can pick... One day it will be finished. When you will knit a little bit every now and then, it will be finished. And especially because I'm having a busy time right now, this is perfect. I don't have to think. I can just every now and then knit a row or two, and then I can put it in the bag again. And it's really, I don't know, it's really feeling good. It gives me a lot of knitting time in between. Yeah, so this week, I think, I'm not quite sure, I have to check, but I think there will be a knit night at my local yarn shop. I think it is, I can call it that way, that I have a local yarn shop in the city. It's brand new, but I really want to visit the local yarn shop, the La Boutique Péridot in the city center, because she started selling knitting for olive yarns. And I want to make the Bubblelicious sweater. I'm quite sure that's the name of the design, from Veronika Lindberg for my youngest girl. She really wants that sweater. So she will come with me and we will pick the right color. And I think, I'm not quite sure if I can start it already because it asks more of my attention, but I don't know. There will be time this winter for that sweater. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also this weekend I have a nice yarn event, a woolly event. It's the Day of the Wool, and that's an event I never visited before. It is all about wool, I guess, and it's quite close to my house. So I will visit that day with my youngest girl again, and with my mother and with my friends. So we will go together, the four of us. I never bring my children with me. I always love to keep it separate, my knitting life and my mother life. But my youngest is really enjoying knitting and crochet herself right now. So yeah, it doesn't make sense anymore because she will love that day too, I guess. So we will go all together and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so that was it for today. I think I told you everything. Yeah, now I will make myself a cup of tea and enjoy a few rows of knitting before I will start editing my videos on this rainy Monday. It's knitting weather, so I will knit. Yeah, I will be there next Monday with another regular episode. And of course, I am there this Friday with a Heart Jumping Friday episode. That's for the special membership on my YouTube channel. You can find all the information in the show notes down below. And I think I already said it, but to be sure to say it again, you can find the links to all the things I talked about in the show notes below. There's a little arrow, you have to click on it, and there will be all the text. And I will link you to my project pages or other things I talk about. So if you have any questions or if you are curious to something I talked about, check the show notes, please. And if you can't find it, please let me know, because then I probably forgot something. That's happening every week. So I will add it. So it's always very helpful when you are letting me know, when you let me know something you are missing. Okay, thank you for watching. I wish you a very nice week. I hope you have some time to create heart-jumping moments, because we need heart-jumping moments in our lives. If you can't find them, neighbor is walking by. If you can't find them, create them, because they are important. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!